everyone, and welcome back to Inside Gaming for Monday.
It's Monday.
Yay.
It's the start of the week. We got to give ourselves a round of applause. There's a lot of work to do. Speaking of, get your signs, everybody. The protests in Hong Kong have been spilling over into the gaming world a lot lately, and they've been making plenty of headlines.
Yeah, Blizzard is still dealing with the fallout from a few weeks ago when it banned a top Hearthstone player for making a statement supporting the protesters during a stream.
How dare he?
Dumbass.
We don't do that here. No, we just play video games and make a lot of money. Blizzard later reduced the suspension of Blitzchung and Guai to 6 months. Lots of people are still upset with the company and feel like they prioritize the Chinese market over free speech.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's what we love here in America. We can say whatever we want.
Meanwhile, its annual convention, Blizzcon, is getting closer and closer. And it's scheduled to kick off November 1st in Anaheim, California.
Oh my gosh, it's very, very close.
Right around the corner, isn't it?
And here's the good stuff. I mean, a lot of people were expecting some announcements this year, but we have new reports that Blizzard will announce Diablo 4 after a new book called The Art of Diablo explicitly mentioned the game.
Is this big news, Autumn? Why is this big news? That's right, Autumn.
I'm gonna track someone else's face over my face. Yeah, it's pretty big news. I mean, people have been looking forward to Diablo 4 for years now, and it was rumored that we'd see it last year. But instead, Blizzard unveiled the mobile Diablo Immortal, which we all know how that went. It spawned my favorite face of all time, just that guy looking scared for a split second before the camera cuts off his face.
I thought everyone had phones.
They do! Everyone rightfully justifiably thinks that Blizzard is a PC-first, hardcore games maker. They haven't been that for a while, and we're kind of slowly being forced to realize that. So, meanwhile, another industry insider, Metro, which has been right about BlizzCon news in the past, also tweeted that Diablo 2 Remastered will be announced at the event too.
Yeah, that makes sense, I guess, right? Blizzard's been hitting the remakes hard lately. World of Warcraft Classic is only the most recent. They also released StarCraft Brood War, remastered in August 2017, and they're apparently working on Warcraft 3 Reforged, which is supposed to release in 2019. That's last we heard.
Yeah, probably not. I mean, we'll probably get an update about it at BlizzCon this year, but...
Which is right around the corner.
Yeah, not to mention that they brushed up the original Diablo for release on Good Old Games back in March of this year. Basically been rifling through the catalog and seeing what they can re-release.
So Lawrence, why not keep cranking out the re-releases if people are buying them? I mean,
there's no reason, just keep doing it.
Blizzard has launched a full original game since Overwatch in 2016, and those loot boxes are only gonna bring in just so much revenue.
You gotta put something out in Activision. Blizzard as a whole, actually, their release slate has slowed way down. That's just been really like Medieval and Spyro and Crash Bandicoot. It's crazy. They need to make new games. Not to mention the Diablo franchise has some goodwill to make up with its audience. Right, Autumn? We're gonna give you all the uncomfortable news today.
I know. I keep thinking about that guy's face. I can't get away from it. I mean, that whole do you guys not have phones mess. This is supposed to be Blizzard's big bounce back convention. It seems like recent political events might overshadow it, which sucks for the people working on Diablo who have nothing to do with any of the decisions that were made, but you know, it happens.
Yeah, that really sucks. That's part of working for a corporation, I guess, is that you just get sort of abstracted and absorbed into the blob of corporate planning.
But great benefits.
Yeah, you get health insurance, which means you won't die at 35, penniless and alone.
36.
Thanks, America. So yeah, some people are already planning mass protests at the event, which, you know, is gonna cast a pall over the announcement, and that threatens to turn the entire focus of the event to Hong Kong instead of games like Blizzard 4, which obviously is the last thing Blizzard wants. Good God, that convention is expensive.
Diablo 4.
They're gonna announce an entirely new Blizzard. They're just like throwing all the trash.
That'd be awesome.
That would be great.
Listen.
You reveal a curtain and you just see the entire Irvine office just implode. And they reveal an even bigger curtain behind it where there's Blizzard 4.
And that threatens to turn the focus of the event to Hong Kong instead of games like Diablo 4, which is the last thing Blizzard wants after investing, who knows, millions of dollars into a big event just to draw everyone in and get the focus, get some free headlines. Meanwhile, people aren't done shouting out Hong Kong. Another top player used a big card tournament to again support protesters this weekend. Oh, this time it was Magic the Gathering.
Hell yeah! God, I love Magic.
Yeah, Magic Gathering!
It happened during the Magic the Gathering Mythic Championship, and one of the players, Li Shitian, wore a red scarf over his face that signaled his support for the pro-democracy protesters. After his win, he said, "Life has been very tough in my hometown in Hong Kong. It feels so good to play as a free man." Damn.
As he said, Lee is from Hong Kong and he's been a top Magic the Gathering player for years. He was even inducted into the Hall of Fame last year. Yes, Magic the Gathering has a Hall of Fame. Neat. So what did Wizards of the Coast do?
Suspension?
Fines, Autumn?
They didn't do anything.
They can't!
Yeah, I know.
But that's sweet China money. That's the other rough part, is when Blizzard is put in a rough situation and then they just become a soft target for anyone who wants to come out looking like a hero. It sucks.
We can all pile on and it's
yeah.
a free target. Right
Everyone
now.
on Twitter with those free hot takes.
Yeah.
I support democracy. Great. Yeah. Yes.
Lee actually told Polygon that they didn't discipline him at all, saying they didn't stop me 5 years ago and they did not stop me this time, so it wasn't even a new thing.
Yeah, they actually have a pretty clean track record, I guess.
Oh yeah, back in 2014 during another round of protests in Hong Kong over the That threw me off so hard that it said Hong Kong.
It does say Hong Kong.
Sometimes when you hong into the abyss hongs back. Back in 2014, during another round of protests in Hong Kong over the region's electoral system, Lee named his deck Umbrella Revolution after the protests and wore a yellow ribbon.
Wizards of the Coast hasn't given an official clarification on this, but Magic Pro League member Jessica Estefan tweeted that neither Lee nor any casters are being punished for the act.
Lee told Polygon that Blitzchung's actions inspired him, and that as a professional gamer, this is the place for me to show my support to him. Hong Kong, freedom of speech, and democracy. I am just...
So that's awesome. Yeah, you gotta salute while crying blood to that one. But yeah, events like this just keep the wound fresh, which again is just bad news for Blizzard. God damn it. Who would have thought? If you're sitting there administrating your Hearthstone tournament, you're like, well, they broke the rule, I guess we gotta do it. And then it just becomes months and months and months of pain and terror for everyone at the company. You probably should have seen it coming. Don't get me wrong. Blizzard wasn't like innocent in this. They should have known that this was gonna become this, but whatever.
You can bet they were praying that all of this would blow over before they could show you Diablo 4 at Blizzcon. But that's seemingly less likely as these headlines keep popping out. Sorry, Blizzard, that is just not how the geopolitical landscape works.
And yeah, to put a point on it, we're not even done. It gets worse, doesn't it, Autumn?
So much worse. Now a group of US lawmakers sent a letter to their parent company asking them to reverse their decision. That group included United States Senators Ron Wyden and Marco Rubio, who signed a bipartisan letter along with Representatives Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, Mike Gallagher, and Tom Malinowski. Well, that's a diverse spectrum of political figures.
It really is, actually, yeah.
And if you know anything about politics here, you'll know that those people represent a pretty diverse range of political opinions.
Yeah.
Basically the same thing you just said.
Right, yeah.
But we really want to drive that point home. This is a diverse cast.
Yeah, who gets the edit? We'll see. So yeah, the letter was addressed to Activision Blizzard CEO Bobby Kotick, so they had deep concern over Activision Blizzard's decision to ban Blitzchung, writing, "This decision is particularly concerning in the light of the Chinese government's growing appetite for pressuring American businesses to help stifle free speech." They added that the decision could have a chilling effect on gamers who seek to use their platform to promote human rights and basic freedom.
Who would ever want to do that?
Also, yeah, a letter from senators that use the word gamers.
Finally happening!
We made it, Dad! They finished by saying, as China amplifies its campaign of intimidation, you and your company must decide whether to look beyond the bottom line and promote American values like freedom of speech and thought, or give in to Beijing's demands in order to preserve market access. We urge you in the strongest terms to reconsider your decision with respect to Mr. Chung.
Oddly though, that letter doesn't acknowledge that Blizzard did, in fact, walk back their punishment just a bit.
Just a bit.
Blitzchung's winnings be returned and his competitive ban shortened from 1 year to 6 months.
A lot about that letter I think you can read into. One, the context with the NDA and everything like that. Two, it's an easy dunk. Like, no one's not gonna sign that, and just the fact that you had such a wide range of politicians signing onto it, it's a very easy sentiment to make. I don't want to minimize the positive nature of the sentiment, it's just a very easy sentiment to make. The hard ones are like Blitzchung, when you stand to lose something by saying something courageous. So that's my only point. It's like, politicians are scoring points because they're easy to score. But Blizzard put themselves in that situation, so whatever, they their pants. So you're gonna point and laugh, why wouldn't you?
And maybe they want all retaliation dropped completely. Maybe they drafted the letter before the news broke and couldn't alter it since they had already gotten all the signatures. Conspiracy theory?
Yeah, I don't know, we just play video games here, so we're not gonna be breaking out on Comedy Central anytime soon.
Yeah, really?
Well, yeah. Maybe we should start our games politics hybrid show. Those always do really well.
Whoa. We should start a gaming channel and call it G4.
So yeah, the senators didn't threaten any kind of actual action against Blizzard, but it's clear from that letter that they're not happy. They even wrote that it's understandable that people are threatening to boycott Blizzard.
Like we said, they've walked back its decision somewhat, reducing Blitzchung's suspension and returning his prize money.
What did that whole situation look like? How did that go down on him?
So in the aftermath of the backlash, Blizzard president J. Allen Brack, or Jab, as we like to refer to him, he issued a statement that Blitzchung was punished because he used his segment to make a statement about the situation in Hong Kong in violation of rules he acknowledged and understood. He then added that we strongly encourage everyone in our community to share their viewpoints in the many places available to express themselves. However, the official broadcast needs to be about the tournament and to be a place where all are welcome, and he insisted that our relationships in China had no influence on our decision. He's definitely making it about the fact that he expressed himself on the tournament instead of like social media, and not about the fact that they're stand to lose a ton of money in China.
He's basically just like, look, bro, we know our rules are shitty, but you broke them.
Yeah, the rules are just incredibly vague and can be interpreted however they need to be given this situation, which is frustrating because in one sense, Jab is right. They did violate the rules as they're written, but in another sense, like the rules are written so the Blizzard can decide that anytime they want. So shockingly, this didn't stop the backlash at all. Over the weekend, there were reports that Blizzard was censoring pro-Hong Kong messages in its Twitch channel during the Hearthstone Masters Tour.
Evil can only triumph if good men do nothing. We have to fight tyranny from every nook and cranny.
From every Twitch chat.
Blizzard said that it was banning some viewers though, but for spamming the chat, not for any certain messages, you know, because everyone knows that spamming the chat is worse than anything you could actually say in the chat.
I mean, yeah, having seen enough Twitch tournaments, that's annoying. Despite its spam for good, it's still spam. So yeah, they told Polygon on Friday, we are not banning people from Twitch chat for specifically using pro-Hong Kong speech or any other political statements. Bans are being levied by an automated moderating system that's triggered by viewers spamming any phrase repeatedly. We expect to have this issue corrected in the next few hours.
I mean, even if they were banning people for spamming, it immediately got spun as Blizzard yet again cracking down on people supporting Hong Kong. So take that, Blizzard PR.
Rival companies like Wizards of the Coast have probably noticed all of this and they decided that they're gonna let people say what they want. Because boy, do you look great compared to that stinky old Blizzard over there.
Epic Games boss Tim Sweeney, or as we like to call him, also said that
Almost worked,
it's
yeah.
not as catchy as Jab, isn't it?
T-Sweet.
Also said in the aftermath that they wouldn't punish Fortnite players for making pro-Hong Kong statements. Way to lead the progressive charge there, buddy.
T-Sweet, can we just call him Too-Sweet?
T-Swizzle. Oh, that's Taylor Swift, isn't it? No. Who's first name? T-Swizz. Swizz? What's Taylor Swift's thing?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Tay-Tay?
T-Swift?
Zach, do you need to sit down?
So we'll see what happens when BlizzCon rolls around. It's gonna be interesting. I think a lot of people will be watching just to see if there will be an incident that they can catch live. We all like to be there when a meme gets birthed. It's immaculate every time, but people are still plenty mad at Blizzard, and it's looking like Diablo 4 might become a casualty in all of this drama, which is unfortunate. I don't know. I think if a game looks good, people will find a way to make themselves okay with liking it no matter what. If it's there, if it's playable, that'd be cool. And if it looks badass, people will be like, maybe we should just be mad at the Hearthstone team and not Diablo since they're different. Like, people will find a way to do the mental gymnastics to be okay with it. So I think it'll be fine as long as the game looks good. That's the problem. We'll see. If there's microtransactions, then Blizzard, you will not hear the last of me.
Culture of the Eastern Hemisphere is riding on the frame lock. Let's go, baby.
Everything about the situation is messy, and good old Jibby Jab statements just has not changed much.
This is the thing I'm trying to get going here, and I think it even is happening within Blizzard. So Blizzard president's name is Jalen Brack. Just call him Jab. He also just looks like a jab. Look at his face. A little jab.
What is a jab? Well, whatever. Let's get to Blizzard's statement. They released it late Friday, which in itself is pretty suspicious, right before the weekend.